History is filled with strange twists, moments where a single change in circumstance could have redefined the entire trajectory of human civilization. But today, we're asking a very different question. What if Adolf Hitler developed HIV in 1934, was cryogenically frozen in Detroit, and upon being revived in 2021, started Squid Game in the hood? By 1934, Adolf Hitler had consolidated near total control over Nazi Germany. The night of the long knives had just passed, and dissent within the ranks had been purged. But what if, during this crucial moment in his rise, the Führer contracted a then unknown virus? In this timeline, Hitler develops what would be later identified as human immunodeficiency virus, HIV in other words. Medical science in the 1930s had no way of diagnosing or treating this condition. Faced with his own immortality, Hitler resigns from power under the guise of personal spiritual retreat. His successor, a confused, less ambitious Hermann Göring, who fumbles German policy so badly that the Nazi Party collapses by 1936, World War II never happens, and Europe breathes. Despite this, it's not the end of Hitler's story. Desperate for a cure, Nazi loyalists smuggled the now ailing dictator out of Germany via a chain of underground operatives connected to the Ford Motor Company. In 1938, he was placed into an experimental cryogenic stasis in a covert medical lab beneath Detroit. The project, codenamed Operation Isefeben, is funded by fringe industrialists, jazz musicians, and an early version of the FDA that would rather not talk about this. He remains frozen, forgotten, until the year 2021. Revived thanks to a miraculous mRNA-adjacent treatment derived from leftover Pfizer samples, awakens in a Motel 6 outside of Dearborn. He is alive, he is cured, but he's irrelevant since World War II never happened. No longer feared or revered, Adolf Hitler finds himself outpaced by social media, racial equality, and a world where TikTok dances decide cultural relevance. His ideology is dismissed as cringe, his moustache is mocked. But Hitler does not want to remain idle. Inspired by the dystopian premise of Squid Game, and desperate to reassert his influence, he seeks out Detroit's disenfranchised youth, and launches a new venture, Squid Game in the Hood. Structured like the original, but with far less budget and a baffling number of unpaid interns, Squid Game in the Hood offers cash prizes to participants willing to compete in lethal childhood games, such as Crack House Tag, Glock Dodgeball, and Uno Sudden Death Edition. The production is streamed exclusively on a hacked Roku channel called Brokeflix. Within 2 weeks, it becomes the third most watched show in Wayne County. As word spreads, authorities begin investigating the man behind the faded Adidas tracksuit and busted Yeezys. A public outcry ensues, not because Hitler's alive, but because he refuses to pay contestants. In June 2022, Adolf was arrested by Michigan State Police and sentenced to 12 years in federal prison for unpaid labour, tax evasion, and excessive cultural appropriation. His last words before sentencing are recorded as that I don't like. The consequences of this alternate history are profound. World War II is avoided, the Holocaust never happens, and yet, ironically, Hitler still becomes a widely reviled figure. Not for genocide, but for starting a bootleg reality show and ghosting his cast. Sometimes history's darkest figures are defeated not by armies, but by times, memes, and their inability to adapt to the modern algorithm. This has been a look into one of the strangest timelines never written. Like and subscribe for more alternate history rabbit holes, and remember, never trust a guy who offers you prize money and cryogenic enhancement in a Detroit alleyway.